and for stepping up in these tough times. The changes aren't easy, but they are working. So keep going. And don't forget, if you haven't already, download the COVID Safe app today. Visit australia.gov.au to learn more. Authorised by...
Papa, can I be in the Olympics?
Darling, you can do anything.
Anything? Then I want to be an Olympian. Or a platypus.
Kids say the craziest things, and they do the craziest things. That's why you can never take your eyes off them, not for a second around water. Fence the pool, shut the gate. Teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
There's no doubt everyone is feeling impacted in some way by coronavirus. From work-life disruptions to financial stress, our days look very different. It's normal to be feeling a little overwhelmed or perhaps completely out of your depth. That's why Beyond Blue has developed the Coronavirus Mental Wellbeing Support Service. It's free and available 24/7. So if you're feeling unsure about how to cope, chat to one of our expert counsellors by calling 1800 512 348 or visit coronavirus.beyondblue.org.au.
2BACR, local community information.
Thinking of upgrading your skills? Give Bankstown Community College a call. We offer nationally recognised qualifications in early childhood education and English. Bankstown Community College has flexibility in delivery, great support from our highly experienced trainers, and small class sizes to help you succeed. We're located at 457 Chapel Road, Bankstown, minutes from the train station. Enrolments are every term, February, May, July and October. So phone Julie or Nadine now on 9793 8155.
For Bankstown and Auburn, 100.9 2BACR.
Good morning. This is Bronwyn Kilroe, and you're listening to Andsley Dennis.
And the time has just gone 18 minutes past 8. You listen to Andsley on the Morning Breakfast Show at 2BACR. We'll be servicing our Bankstown and Auburn communities at 100.9 FM. It is Monday the 18th of Jan. And as I said, we will be sharing with you some famous people born on the 18th of Jan. So if it's your birthday or anybody's birthday out there and you want to send them a special shout out, please call into the studio at 9793 1009. We also have a special guest in the studio this morning, and her name is Daniel Corrie. Now, Daniel is a author, a community care worker, and business owner. And she was born and raised in Sydney, Australia. And guess what? She lives just down the street, out here in Revesby. Throughout her whole life, from childhood to an adult, Daniel has always been surrounded by family pets, big and small, from dogs to peach-faced carrots to an aviary of budgies, and even a goat, duck, and turtle who lived in their family home. As a result, Daniel became a lover of animals. In particular, Daniel has a personal affinity with dogs who automatically connect to a gentle nature and temperament. So please welcome Daniel to the studio. Morning, Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm well, Andrew. How are you?
Good. Really great to have you in the studio this morning.
Thank you, and welcome. Thank you for having me.
Great, excellent. So Daniel, you've written a novel, and I'm really keen on this novel about Teida's story. Do you mind sharing to the listeners what Teida's story is all about, and what really inspired you to write this novel?
Well, Teida's story is about a bond between a dog and its owner, and it goes through good times, bad times, happy times, sad times, and it's written from a dog's point of view, being Teida. Yeah. And it's I actually decided to write it once my good friend Gary passed away, and it just shares the bond that a dog can have with its owner and other people that it's familiar with.
Okay, so Gary was he's in the book as one of the characters.
That's right.
And then Teida as well is one of the characters in the book as well.
That's right.
And you mentioned Teida's your actual dog that you've had as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had Teida for about 11 years. So
11 years.
I had her when she was 6, and she died about just over 17. So.
Wow. So from a puppy all the way through, you've actually grown up with Teida.
Well, I actually didn't grow up with Teida. She actually had another owner before me. So she came to me after her previous owner had to give her away, unfortunately. We actually really bonded like it was like
so
a soul
you rescued her and you bonded. That's even more inspirational. Great. So in terms of, you mentioned here as well that you had the strong bond and connection. And what are some of the experiences you had with Teida through that connection and, in terms of communicating and...
Well, Teida knew when I was upset. Teida knew when I was happy. She could tell, she could just tell who I was, what I was, without me saying... I mean, one thing, for example, I never told her not to go in my bedroom, but she just never went in my bedroom. She never climbed on my lounge, and I never trained her to do any of that kind of stuff. She just knew, I guess, without me. Dogs pick up on energy of people.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily pick up on sit, stay, things like that. They just pick up on the energy. So if you're calm and then they stay calm. If you're anxious, they're anxious. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can definitely relate to that. Because when I'm hungry, my dog's always hungry.
Dogs love food.
Okay, baby. No, good, man. And you also mentioned that, the whole connection in terms of communication. I want to talk about that communication piece because you say that the dogs can also, it's almost like you can feel that connection and that communication.
They're very intuitive. They do know. I mean, they can tell if a woman is pregnant. They can tell if someone's unwell. And like I mentioned before, a friend of mine was on the telephone, wanted to have a private conversation. It was where Teida's water bowl was. And she's never did this before, but she wouldn't get her water until this person was off the phone. It was like someone eavesdropping. She knew something wasn't right, and she just wanted to stay with that person until he was off the phone. And then, yeah. And even when my friend Gary passed away, but she knew it was his last day, and her energy just totally changed.
Yeah.
She could tell when he had to have his leg amputated, and she knew that something was wrong, and she was trying to tell him, and he picked that up as well, because he was diabetic. So, yeah, he could tell when his sugar levels were up or down.
Yeah. Wow, that's really
China.
Yeah. And so your novel, Teida's Story, it's been published by New Holland Publishers, and you mentioned that it's available...
It's available in bookstores like QBD Books.
Yeah.
Dymocks may still have it, but they had it. So any bookstore should be able to order it in if they don't have it.
Awesome. Do you have it on Amazon as well?
It's online, so it's on Booktopia, Amazon, Book Depository.
Awesome. Yeah.
Any online places.
And you've got it internationally as well, you mentioned.
It is international. So it went to there was a world exhibition in Germany, and it went there when it first got published. Teida's Story first got published, went to a book fair in Germany, a world book fair. Yeah. So Amazon is not just local, but it's worldwide. So there's a lot of worldwide places that do have it.
Awesome. That's really great. And if I had to ask you, in terms of, is there part 2 to the story, or is it?
This isn't. I'll be writing another book, but it's not a part 2.
Okay, just one sec. 2BACR, good morning. Sure, just 1 second. I'll bring you online. Thank you. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi, good morning. We have a special call on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, my name's Mary Kathleen.
Mary Kathleen, hi. We've got Danielle in the studio with us this morning, and you feel free to ask a question. Definitely.
Oh, hello, Danielle. How are you?
I'm well, Mary Kathleen. How are you?
I'm very well, and congratulations on your book.
Oh, thank you so much.
I've read your book, and I really love the part where you talk about that, when something happens to you, like when your mum died or when you lost your job, your dog was there. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Well, because I have a dog, and she was very kind to me at those times, and it was very nice to be able to read that was the same experience for you.
Yeah, it was. Well, when somebody passes away, yes, my mum passed away in 2015, and Teida knew that. She was just there. I might be upset. She'll just stay with me. You don't have to say anything to a dog. I lost my job. I actually was made redundant, and that was in 2005, and she was there as well. So she actually knew things weren't right. I actually hurt myself, and she came up to me and kind of said, because that's another story in the book, but I won't mention that. But Yeah, she just came up. When you're sad or happy, dogs just come up and they just stay with you. You don't have to tell them, look, I'm sad, give me a hug. They'll just come up to you. And she even came up to me and just leant against my torso, leant against me, and you just patted her and she looks in your eyes to say, look, Mum, things will be okay. And they were.
Oh, yes, I did. I did like that bit when she came up to you. And when you're on the... You wrote in detail about how you lost your job, and I think you said you were crying on the ground, on your lounge or something like that, and Teida just stayed with you. I that was a very poignant part of the book, and the way you wrote about how she, about the final stages of her life. That made me cry a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it was in a good way.
Oh, yes, it was a good way, because I've lost my dogs as well, and it was really lovely that people can capture those moments when you want to be true to your dog's journey, and you don't, that final time when you do have to ring the vet.
Yes,
and you did that very honourably.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't an easy time, and I did have to ring the vet just to explain to everyone. I had to put Teida down at the end of her life, and I wasn't sure how or when, but I got the vet to come to me and did it at home, and then I had someone else cremate her, and then later on I had a little service for Teida.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's really beautiful the way you wrote that. And I wish you well in your life and in your journey. And it took you 8 years. What a great journey it is to write that.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, congratulations. And are you a writer? Are you good at writing?
Well, I didn't think I was when I went to school, because I actually failed English and I failed comprehension and couldn't write an essay if my life depended on it.
Oh, God bless you.
So that was my weakest subject at school, but obviously now it's changed. So.
Well, that's very inspiring that you can turn that around and have a bad school experience and then do something as wonderful as this. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mary Kathleen. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Many blessings to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And thank you, Mary Kathleen, for calling to the studio this morning. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for letting me be on your show.
Awesome.
You have a lovely day yourself.
You too. Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, that was Mary Kathleen, and she called into the studio at 100.9 FM. And if you do want to call in this morning at 97931009, feel free to call in and ask Daniel any questions that you like regarding the book, though, of course. Well, Daniel, whilst we're waiting for some callers and giving them some time, being a community care worker, you mentioned earlier that you're helping the elderly and you're doing a lot of work in the community.
Yes, yeah.
And
what it means, community care worker is, many people have heard of home care or those sorts of organisations out there where they go in and help the and elderly live independently in their own home. And that's what I did for, over 10 years. And I do a few private clients now as well, but that's what happens. A lot of elderly people don't like to go into nursing homes. They want to stay at home. And that's what community care workers do. They actually, it might be cleaning their house, it might be just sitting there talking to them and having a cup of tea. Yeah. Some people might want you to take them to the shops or you do the shopping for them. So it depends on what they require, but it just helps them a little bit.
Oh, great. That's really good that you're giving back to the community and helping people. We need more people like you.
Thank you.
Definitely. So as I said, you can call into the studio at 9793-1009. That's 9793-1009. We're going to be bringing you some birthday wishes now. But before we do so, I'm going to be bringing you a quick traffic update. Let's see what's happening out in the traffic this morning. And whilst everybody's heading back to work this morning on this Monday, or if you're not heading off and you're still off on holidays, and you're wanting to head out on the coast and go to the beach, let's see what's happening out there. Teida's story. So Daniel, as I said, we spoke about where people can find the book, etc. online. Is there any social media platforms or websites or anything else that people can find you on as well?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I do have a YouTube channel and a SoundCloud channel. Twitter, so I'm all over the place.
Awesome.
They can find me. And even if they can't get it, New Holland Publishers, it's a publisher that actually published Teida's story, so they'll be able to guide people on where to buy it if they can't find it themselves.
Yeah. I actually jumped online and you got a really good price at the moment.
Oh, thank you.
I saw it's really I don't want to quote the price just in case it's wrong.
Because sometimes the shops change it every minute of the day.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't want to say the price on the air just in case I give a wrong price and then people go on there and blame me.
There are shops that do have it on special.
I know. I saw it on special. I said, oh, I'm going to go and jump on and buy a few for friends. I've got some friends that are dog lovers.
Oh, good.
And they just love their dogs. Just 1 year in Paris, actually.
Wow.
She dresses the dog up every day. I feel sorry for the dog. It's so hot. I said, take off that dog hood.
Well, if it's local and someone wants me to sign it, then I can sign it for them. So.
Awesome. No, she loves the dog. She's also actually experienced a bit of trauma with a pet because she's lost sons.
Oh, that's terrible.
And she lost, I think, 2 sons, and this dog has been like just a breath of fresh air to her. And she treats the dog like she sits there, and when she has a coffee, the dog has a coffee. Not quite a coffee, she calls it, what's a puppuccino, the milky froth. Yeah.
Don't put chocolate. Chocolate's
no chocolate, but she actually feeds the dog with a spoon.
That's great. Okay. People have their own habits with dogs.
No, awesome. So definitely, they can find you on, as you said, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter. Website, Twitter.
Yeah,
your website.
There is a Facebook page for Teida Story as well. So.
Awesome. And you can also find on www.danielcorrie.com.au, and you will then find Teida's story and a website all about Danielle. Yeah, excellent. So Daniel, I'm really going to thank you so much for coming to the studio this morning. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song that you like. What song would you like? And I'm not going to put.
I don't know.
Okay, do you want me to play? How about?
Pick one.
Okay, Who Let the Dogs Out?
That's funny. A dog song, okay.
A dog song, okay.
A dog song. That's a funny song.
We'll play Who Let the Dogs Out. Okay, here we go.